welcome back to the channel. More Blood and Plunder here as we start working our way into the characters now. The first section, which is the largest of the character upgrades, is the Fighting Man or Fighting Men section here. So these add a little bit of punch in the combat arena in different forms. So like commanders, these characters can take actions and be removed as casualties like any other model in the unit they are attached to. They have the same weaponry and equipment as a typical model in the unit that they're attached to, unless a rule says otherwise. We'll get into that. They also have the same options available to them as the rest of that unit, unless, again, a rule says otherwise. So basically you get an extra model in the unit in that sense. The cost listed in each profile below is added to the base cost of the model in that unit in order to represent the chosen character. Now, the first one here is the Officer, and that is going to be your biggest investment. So we're starting off basically with essentially what boils down to as a second in command. So as it says here, these sub-commanders assist a force's commander and can replace him if he falls in battle. So that 10-point cost is definitely pretty serious, because if you think about it, that's almost like a cost of a unit there for this one model. Now, the key thing that you're buying with that is really, again, that fact that he can replace the commander. So more or less any nationality, so everybody has access to an officer. No unit restrictions either, so that's super important. So really can go anywhere for anyone. Has a 4-inch command range, so typically his own unit and then maybe another unit that might be very close to them. And has one single command point, and that really is there to take a little bit of pressure off of the commander as far as spending their command points, although his is very specific and that can be used to give any extra action. So we get the full range of abilities there. I misspoke there. There's some characters that can only be used for very specific things with their command points. He basically is like a true commander in that sense, and the fact that his command point can be used for any extra action. So pretty neat there. Again, by and large, his own unit, but we could have another unit very close by to do that. Now, the extra ability, and like we said, what we're really buying into for those 10 points as well, is if the force's commander is removed as a casualty, so you're buying insurance basically if things really go catastrophically wrong for your commander, then he becomes the force's commander. The force may take a strike test with the officer as the commander, but if it does, it applies it with a +1 penalty to that test, right? Because he's not the main man in charge. He's just kind of stepping up into that role. But again, you get a backup commander. You get another command point, which really will add a little bit more free actions to the force, right? You are paying for it, solid 10 points. But again, the fact that anybody can use this and there really are no unit restrictions makes him a pretty potent choice. Now, given the fact that he's 10 points, though, right, we're probably not necessarily going to bring him in a overly small game, right? We really and there's obviously the character restrictions anyway that we talked about in the previous video, just general rules for incorporating characters. But if you think about it, you could maybe go with a sort of regular level commander and then buy in for another 10 points on that. Obviously, you're going to probably spend more points overall, but you do get to spread them out a little bit, right? He doesn't have to be in the commander's umbrella. So there's just a couple extra little wrinkles that he adds to any force and is, again, just worth a consideration, if nothing else. And again, of the others, really, he is going to be more expensive. You can see here, we'll get to these in separate videos, but we got the Master Gunner sitting at 6, Carpenter at 4, Musician at 5, right? So really twice as much as a lot of the other characters, but he's also basically a basic level commander in his own right. So hit us up in the comments, guys. Let me know your favorite spot to park an officer in. What typical point sizes do you feel like you invest when you want to use him, and then any memorable moments you guys have had in your games that you've played with the officer. Happy to hear about that, and let's see if we can't get a discussion going on using the officer for Blood and Plunder. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.